And we're live.
All right. Welcome to 2018. How you guys doing?
Doing all right. Welcome back to the country.
Thank you. Thank you. You guys have good holidays, good New Year's?
Do they even celebrate New Year's in Israel?
They do. I was in America for it, though.
Do they celebrate holidays over there, or are they still too bitter?
So you can't be sure.
No, I can't be sure, I guess. Although I'm friends with people who were still there, and I saw the Snapchat filters, so I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Hmm.
New Year's just good for me. I'm still kind of sick, but
Oof.
everyone gets sick in my house. Sucks.
Yeah.
What'd you guys do on New Year's? Do anything fun?
No, I just went to a house party with some friends.
Small house party, and I was so happy when that was the plan. And my friends weren't, let's go to the city. Let's go to this bar. Can't do those anymore. It's not worth it at all.
Oh, yeah.
I was so happy when they said house party. I was like, yes, that's it. Final. We're doing that.
Nice.
Yeah. That's always the dream. I hate when I get dragged out by my friends to like the bar or a club or something for New Year's because it never lives up to what people want it to be. So I'd rather just hang out with some friends at a house and
it's so expensive.
Oh yeah, in the city it's like a minimum $100.
Yep. Yeah. I gave up that shit a while ago.
Did you guys see this movie? Like I saw this movie different because I was with my family. So I saw it with, there was maybe 10 of us in the movie theater. So I had a lot of different opinions bounce back at me afterwards than usual.
Yeah?
Usually I go alone.
No, I didn't see this movie with anyone, but I saw it. It was a packed theater, maybe the most full out of any of the movies we reviewed.
Really?
And I was the youngest person in the theater by at least 40 years.
Don't you think that's a product of the holiday season more than the movie itself?
Probably.
Yeah, no, I think it's probably a combination of the two. Because I think the movie does skew towards an older audience, but also holiday weekend is going to be everyone out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sheehan, what about you? What was your movie-going experience?
It was the normal. I usually go by myself. I go to a movie theater in the middle of nowhere, Connecticut, and I have an entire row to myself. And old people are with me. It's always the same. I go do the early bird matinee, save a couple bucks.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
It was a nice experience.
All right. With that, let's hop into our snap impressions, though. Sheehan, what do you got? Do you like the movie or?
I did. I liked it. Not as much as I thought I was going to. It wasn't. Didn't live up to its hype. The only thing I can say was great was the director. Fantastic job, despite all the hurdles he had to go over. Two major ones we'll talk about later. Jimmy, what are your thoughts?
Pretty similar. To sum it up, I would say this movie is good, not great. I wanted to be gripped. It's like a heist kind of kidnapping story. You think it's going to really grip you, and it never really did. But there's good parts and bad parts. I wanted it to be really, really good. It wasn't really, really good, but it was good. I mean, it was just a good movie, I think. Not great.
Well, I'm on the exact same page as you guys. I went into it really wanting to love this movie, and I left it being like, that was all right. I didn't regret spending the 2 hours there, and I enjoyed it. I was thrown off and surprised by how much, what's his name?
Plummer.
Christopher Plummer is in it, though.
Yeah, for real.
Crazy.
So
They're like,
we can talk about that
11
now.
days. He filmed it in 11 days. It's just a bit part, like he came in and did it. He was in almost every scene. Not every scene, but he was in a lot of the movie. A lot more than I thought.
Legitimately half the movie.
Yeah.
Like, no exaggeration.
It was weird watching it, knowing that, because every time he was on screen, I was like, is this going to be just solos? Is he ever going to share the camera with the other actors? And the very first time, it's just solos. The other actress walks into the room and asks his secretary, asks him a question, and he's looking at the ticker tape and doesn't respond. And they're never share the screen together. So I was like, okay, we're going to have a lot of that. But then it wasn't. It was normal.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm very impressed with what they're able to do in 11 days to reshoot all those scenes.
Yeah. And like I told you before, there's only one scene where it was evident and that was the CGI green screen because of the desert.
Yes, and you had mentioned that before I saw the movie, and I noticed it, but I wouldn't have if you didn't call it out.
I didn't.
Yeah,
I notice that.
Totally understandable. I don't fault him at all for that because it'd be a ton of money to go to a desert for one scene.
Yeah.
So, I think he did an excellent job.
I think it's impressive, even more impressive than people realize, because not only did Mark Wahlberg and Michelle Williams have to come back and redo their scenes and stuff with a new actor, but the set and the lighting had to be exactly the same as like some other, they had to go match it. And there should be someone doing continuity on sets that writes down what the final settings were. So it's not that hard, but still, like, it's a crazy thing that they did.
Yep.
Yeah.
But not as crazy as Kevin Spacey being pedophile rapist.
Yeah. No, that's very crazy.
It was crazy what they did, but definitely the right move, what they did.
Oh, yeah. And they pulled it off because it's Plummer, in no way, shape, or form did he contribute to a bad movie. I think he was one of the better parts.
Oh, yeah. He was probably my favorite part of the whole movie.
Yeah. And I think, how I said I was, it was still a good movie, but I was not truly excited about it afterwards. I think that was because I kept forgetting that it was a Mark Wahlberg movie. And Jesus Christ, it sucks.
Mark Wahlberg chooses good movies. I think we've talked about this before. But has he ever lost himself in a role? This was, and you said on our Instagram, Mark Wahlberg played Mark Wahlberg in 70s clothing. One of my main takeaways was I don't think he was dressed in 70s clothing.
No, he was just dressed normally.
He looked like a time traveler. And then he wasn't acting. His character had nothing to him. He wasn't. And I don't know how much that plays into Mark had to reshoot all his lines and maybe fell out of the character or whatever.
No.
The movie's like The Fighter, where Mark Wahlberg plays that's just the normal guy, but it works really well with the movie. What Mark Wahlberg contributed to this movie was one of the worst parts of it.
Yep.
Yes.
He can play a local shithead with not a lot of potential. He can crush that role. But give him any kind of importance. I mean, the way there's one scene that took it away from me that I noticed how badly he was, how badly he acted. That big importance, like coming together, him and Plummer, and he quit, and he was like, without me, you had nothing. And it was like, it was the same old thing. Without me, you got nothing. Without my protection, you're getting killed. I could kill you. It was the same fucking monologue. You can place that in Transformers. You can place that in Ted. You can place that in The Departed. It's the same exact monologue in every fucking movie with a slightly different twist. It's just Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. And then you had I imagine that's just what Mark Wahlberg yells at people when he's angry.
Say hi to your mother for me.
And then you had Plummer, who was maybe just playing himself as well. I don't really know much about Plummer, but it fit really well. And then you had Michelle Williams putting on like a tour de force, and I don't know if it was necessarily the best, but she was definitely doing something.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really liked her.
She was trying. Yeah, I give her points for trying.
I think it was strong. I liked her in this better than I liked her in Manchester by the Sea, which is strong words. I understand that.
She the best actor to come out of Dawson's Creek?
Maybe. I've never seen Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who's been in Dawson's Creek.
Well, Joshua Jackson from Mighty Ducks, Charlie Conway, he's up there.
Ooh. Yeah, well.
Yeah, Mighty Ducks wins.
Mighty Ducks.
I don't care who's in the Mighty Ducks.
James Vanderbeek.
Quack.
Ooh, okay. No, James Vanderbeek wins. James Vanderbeek wins.
I don't want your laugh. Playing football at West Canaan High School might have been the time of your life. I love Varsity Blues. All right, anyway, back to the movie.
All right. Well, then let's hop into our what we liked and what we didn't like about this. What did you guys like? Jimmy?
I liked that they made us sympathize with a kidnapper. Chunquito. Is that his name?
Yep.
Yes.
Just a real good, one of the nicer kidnappers in cinema history. Probably.
Yeah.
Just a lot of heart. Sure, he kidnapped him and was going to sell him off for money, but he never wanted to hurt him. He just wanted to hurt his family and make them pay for him. And then, because that didn't work out, he had to sell the kid to the mafia, and then they were going to hurt him. And he felt really bad about it. And, you know, the audience really got to sympathize with a child kidnapper, which you don't normally get to experience in cinema. So I was happy they gave me that experience. Like that child kidnapper, I'm rooting for him.
Yeah. I think it was a nice little moment when he comes in, rushing through the doors, like, here, drink this, drink all of this. It won't be so bad. Like, just his first instinct is like, get shit-faced now, because you're gonna lose a body part, buddy.
Yeah. Or also when he went to go take a piss and saw the fire starting and the kid escape, and then he waits like a full 45 seconds for the fire to grow, and he's like, oh guys, there's a fire.
Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I also liked the ear cutting off. Another good takeaway. It was the nicest I've ever seen someone cut someone else's ear off.
He left everything but like just the outer rim. He could have really gouged out that shit. You know, it was very clean.
He shaved the hair. You know, usually in your ear cutting off scenes, it's just like a knife and just reckless. This was really well done.
Well,
because
they
he was
did
a
say they were
doctor.
getting a very good doctor.
Because the mafia, they're not stupid. They know infections happen, and that if he gets infected and dies, then they lose all their money. They're thinkers, those people.
That's smart.
Veteran.
I just thought this guy was dedicated to his craft.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I liked him.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to disagree with one thing you said, Jimmy, that you were never held in suspense throughout the entire thing. I admit I was hooked because I didn't know the real story. I avoided it. I'll look up the real story beforehand and find out like what happened, but I've just stopped doing that for the sake. And when they found the body in the river dumped after the gunshot and they thought it was the boy, I was like, oh fuck, this is gonna turn into Mark Wahlberg being crucified, and I'm loving it. I was kind of like on the edge, like, here we go, Mark Wahlberg's getting fucked over because he was a lazy detective. And then it didn't happen. But
wait,
that 5 minutes.
I didn't know the true story. You didn't know that it wasn't him that got shot? Like you thought you fell for that cut and gunshot thing?
Like that was like a classic film, like bait and switch. Like
no shit. I understand that, but like I thought that like he would appear at the end without them knowing it, and that the body was too deformed, and they just assumed it was the boy. Okay. And then he would come up later on. I didn't think for a second he was dead, but I thought that they thought he was going to be dead.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
All right.
But
I know I fucked up Midnight Owning Express, and I know I've lost some of your trust, but I want to build that back, okay?
I don't know. It being a true story hinders it. And at the end, they wrote, this is based on true events, but we switched some of it for effect, which usually movies won't even admit. So I feel like they had to switch a lot of things. Probably, like they did cut his ear off in real life, but maybe he didn't escape. Maybe some other stuff. I don't know, but like, take another child kidnap movie, Man on Fire. That will grip you, and like you're on the edge of your seat, wondering what's going on. Now it doesn't have the hindrance of having to tell a real story, which this movie did, so it's easier for Man on Fire. But yeah, I was never like, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen?
Yeah. I think what you said at the end when they had that little note, those things were changed, and the important part was some characters were fictionalized.
I think Chinkaro or whatever his name was made up for this.
No, I would bet anything that it was Mark Wahlberg's character, because he was the only guy carrying the Paul Getty Sr. to the mother to the police. He was the only one in the trifecta, and you needed that to make this movie go. They did that with Patriots Day. Wahlberg was a fake person, so I feel like that was just Wahlberg doing Wahlberg things.
I do give them credit, though, for giving that little note at the end, because like you said, Jimmy, a lot of movies that are based on actual events don't even do that. They just say, yeah, this is what happened. So if they're going to change shit, at least like they called it out a little bit.
Yeah. Respectable. I mean, we all know it's not really true.
Yeah.
the gist of it, basically. But those
You guys
conversations
look
didn't
into his
happen.
life afterwards.
Nah.
No.
He got kidnapped at 16 or 17. He was married with a kid by 18. By 19, he drank too many drugs, had a seizure, lost half of his vision, his ability to walk, and his ability to talk. Lived 20 years like that, then died. Fucking
Wow.
terrible life. But his brother invented Getty Images.
No shit.
Yeah.
I knew
Good
that.
for him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I can't blame the kid for going to like drugs and drinking after this.
I mean, this
probably
has
would've.
got PTSD written all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he
And
made
they
a
showed
friend
his
in
family
Japan.
had like a history of like addiction problems. So
Yep, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like a little domino waiting to be pushed.
yeah. I did like, it was just a fun fact I noticed looking at the credits, that the kid was played by the grandson of Christopher Plummer.
I was trying to figure that out because I kept seeing two plumbers in the credits, but I never looked it up. That's who it was.
Yes.
So when Kevin Spacey couldn't to take this movie, that kid actor was like, "Hey, my grandpa can probably do it."
Well, apparently, what I had read, I have no idea if it's true, but was that Christopher Plummer was the original first choice and just couldn't for some other reason, like scheduling or something.
Okay.
So they went with Kevin Spacey.
Let's talk about what this would have been with Spacey in the role. I think he would have been much more demonized and much more of a villain than he was. Kind of just an old
3D man.
Lonely curmudgeon man who, like that. I think he came off as more lonely and a sad sack. And I think if Spacey played him, he would have come off more as a villain, like nasty streak.
Yeah, he for sure was. He was more of someone who was incapable of being a family man, just like unaware of how to live outside of being a hardcore, thrifty businessman. Whereas you're right, Spacey would have been a vindictive, selfish, strategic asshole.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see that footage. By the way, how much would you pay?
Think it'll ever come out?
You can see the first trailer that has scenes with Spacey in it.
Oh yeah,
but they're not of him talking.
No, they're not of him talking. But seeing him in that makeup and then seeing Plummer in the actual movie, I'm so glad they replaced him. That makeup would have looked horrendous. I feel like it does not look good in the trailer.
How long do you think the Spacey footage gets released 10 years from now?
Maybe.
Do you
I
think
maybe on the DVD later this year?
It'll be the bonus features.
No one will care. I think they'll just be like, "Oh, okay."
I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah, I think we'll see it eventually.
But actually, no. He would get paid if it was on the DVD.
If I had to bet, it would be on the DVD. But eventually, I think if it's not on the DVD, we'll still see it.
No, they're gonna have to pay him if it's on the DVD. So no chance.
I'm shocked it hasn't been leaked by someone within the studio already.
Yeah.
Oh wow, this makeup's terrible.
Oh, are you looking at it now?
Spacey looked weird.
Goodness, he looks awful. Yeah, good job with Plummer.
All right, what else we got?
What didn't you guys like besides Mark Wahlberg?
We all agree Wahlberg was pretty weak. It was a little long, 2.5 hours. It never felt truly slow for me, but I think half my family members fell asleep in the middle of it.
It's disappointing.
Those reclining seats would put anyone to sleep. I sat up because you lay down in there was a lot of silence. It was a little slow. I don't know if it needed to be 2 hours and 30 minutes long. I don't know what you cut out because there was a lot of different angles and shit that happened.
I agree that it was slow. I didn't think anything needed to be cut out though. It was a movie that needed to be at the pace it was. I felt like.
I can understand some people saying it was slow, but I don't know what you cut out. I think the story was told pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the writing.
I felt so bad for Michelle Williams' character, or kind of like feel bad is the wrong feeling when she brought that thing that she thought was worth 1.2 million to the gift shop and they were all there. What a terrible, embarrassing feeling that had to be.
Crushing feeling. Even like I felt that. I was like, oh shit! Like that's the saddest.
Because not only and the feeling is, you're more upset that you're a fucking idiot than you are that this isn't worth $1.2 million.
Yeah, I mean, if you really think about it, Getty's not going to give his 9-year-old grandson at the time a $1.4 million toy. He's way too thrifty and cheap for that.
Oh.
So looking back, hindsight, yeah, it's like, yeah, of course this guy.
It makes sense that it's a toy. I agree. It makes sense that it's a toy, but like they're first meeting him, so they feel like, oh, he's trying to like make family bonds and everything.
Agreed. So
I
could see how they would think that he actually did give this priceless like heirloom to him.
I think you can do away with the earlier scenes because I think they misdid the dad. In the opening scenes when they were in America, it seemed, did I miss clues that he wasn't actually a good father? Like I just thought he was a good father with a struggling job situation.
I think,
but then all of a sudden, sorry, I know what I didn't like, and my girlfriend pointed this out after we watched this movie. They open up with narration that completely goes by the wayside. He's like, to understand this story, you need to understand my family.
Oh shit, you're right.
We're not bad people, but we do bad things. And it has nothing to do with the message the rest of the movie, and they don't end with narration, which you can't do. I forgot about this. It really irked me when my girlfriend.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I didn't even think of this.
It's good, excellent point.
Why did they open up with that narration? It didn't, like, to understand my family, you have to understand we're not bad people. That had nothing to do with the story at all.
If you're right, if it came back at the very end, it would have made a big difference. But
yeah,
no, just left hanging.
Yeah, so that was actually a huge. Once I didn't pick up on it. Once my girlfriend pointed it out, and I was like, yeah, that really doesn't make sense, because the message he was even narrating, it wasn't about this bad family that isn't that bad. It's like, no, it's a rich asshole and some people kidnapped you. There's nothing deeper.
Huh. Well, hey, gold star for your girlfriend for the day, because
that might impact my reviews now. My scores. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, that's not even like a little nitpicky thing. That's actually
that's a major thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have a nitpicky thing that's more like in the realm of Sheehan's detail corners.
Can I get, before we go too far, I wanted to just answer Jimmy's thing about the alcoholic dad.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I forgot about that.
What I assumed happened is they were broke as shit in America, and he stole bottles everywhere, and he was hungover. And give someone with an addiction a ton of money, and then addiction's going to blow the fuck up. Always. So
I agree, but
the first scene with the dad like stumbling into breakfast, she even says to him like, I forget what she says, but yeah, she's like, "Hair of the dog will help," and he just opens a bottle of wine at like 9 a.m.
Yep. You're right.
So I mean,
I did think it kind of jumped quickly to like
it did absolutely.
Family and then all of a sudden, and my dad was addicted to. It was still narrating at that time. My dad was addicted to drugs.
Wow.
So he.
So yeah, no. So the sudden inflation of money, infusion of money, rather.
And there was like a 10-year, 6-year age like gap there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they sped it along. They laid the tracks down, but it went a little fast for sure.
Yeah. Now you say it, but I still think that was handled not that well.
Agreed. So my little nitpick though, and it's more like just finer details, because they said they made the old deal with the Bedouin people, and then it showed those people's camels, and they're all one-hump camels, and the Bedouins have 2-hump camels. That was my one little detail I noticed, and I only know that because I just learned that in Israel.
Wait, where were you?
Huh?
Where were you?
Fuck you. But yeah, that was like, I don't know. It caught me by surprise. I was like, oh shit, I actually know a fun fact.
Interesting.
So that's my detail for this movie.
Nice.
My little detail that I found insanely upsetting was the fact that Michelle Williams.
Mark Wahlberg was a time traveler?
That too. But Michelle Williams caved to the newspapers. She's like, fine, I don't want your $50,000. I just want 1,000 newspapers delivered to Getty. Like, one will do. One.
No, I think one wouldn't have done. Like, you needed the bulk of
paper. He gets the paper. Maybe, okay, fine. 100. I'll give him 100. 1,000.
I was mad.
Take the fucking money. Take the fucking money and say, hey, send this to him. Like, she's in total control. She's a terrible negotiator.
Well, yes, she is. But I was mad that she settled on like 1,000 newspapers. I wanted her to be like, I want $50,000 worth of your newspapers sent to him. Like, go overkill with it.
Then when you saw 1,000 newspapers, it was like, this is very
underwhelming
how little papers that was. That was like barely a nuisance for them.
I like when
that'll fit in a regular hatchback car.
Wahlberg goes, now you're thinking like a Getty. Shut up, Mark.
Fuck you, Wahlberg.
You can't just drop corny one-liners.
I guarantee that was him. That was all him too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna improv this one. Watch out, guys. Here we go.
So there's a lot of Mark Wahlberg movies I really like. I just don't think he's ever been like. You're right. Like, whatever. I won't go into it. Invincible, The Fighter.
Boston.
Yeah.
No, like I said, he was a degenerate shithead. He nails that role.
Yeah.
The guy who's from nothing. Stick to what's good. He's typecast in real life. You should just stick to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Anything else you guys liked, didn't like?
I think I got it all.
No, I think that.
Should we hop into the writer's room? I know it's hard with a true story, but what would you guys change to make the movie better?
I would have made Paul Getty a little bit more senile, to be honest. He seemed too aware of everything to be that negligent to his grandson. You know?
I agree if this was like a completely made up story, but I think Paul Getty was like that kind of an asshole in real life.
Yeah, maybe. But I mean, like, so is Scrooge. Like, you know, good old Ebenezer Scrooge. He was a changing. Yeah, what's up?
For changing stuff, even though it's a true story, and they could have done this anyway because they fictionalized a lot of things. I would have changed the whole drop-off scene. The way they did it with him running around and then the bad guys running around, there was just no real drama for it. Maybe like, I don't know, he should have got in their hands. Mark Wahlberg has to do something tricky instead of just they run around for 10 minutes and then Mark Wahlberg's like, hey, it's me, come here. He's like,
and then Giuseppe hits the guy in the back of the head. Yeah.
I didn't understand why he even ran. Like, I understood he wanted to be safe, but Mark Wahlberg and his mom made it to that spot before the mobsters would have.
Yeah, he ran the wrong way.
Yeah, they showed up to that spot before the mobsters realized all the cops were in the area.
But to be fair, he probably had no idea what was going on. Prisoner for what, like a year?
But still,
kid. 4 months in real life.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
it seemed like it was much longer than that in the movie.
To that point, what killed me was like drive however many kilometers at 80 miles an hour or whatever, and then there will be a rock that hits your windshield.
Yeah,
how nerve-wracking would it be to the guy shooting that rock? If you miss it, you're fucked. This whole plane is shot with that car.
What a bizarre way to signal.
Yeah.
Just have someone step out onto the street and flag them down.
Yeah, like throw a cone in the street. Why you gotta sling a rock at the windshield? Makes no sense.
Yeah.
There's a lot of risk involved there.
Huge risk.
I want to see the alternate cut where they just miss the window and they just keep driving.
Okay, and now we're watching Peter Pan.
Yeah. How many times do you think they had to do that take?
They probably just shot him and then shot the car and threw one right at it.
All right, fine. You're going to do cinematography on me. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Just going to take the magic.
I doubt they actually had someone back in the woods launching around.
Yeah, they just got a bunch of different windshields ready to go. Just like, I want the right crack.
That probably happened.
All right.
Yeah,
probably a couple cracks.
Mm-hmm. Just shattered it the first time. Wasn't good enough.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Want to go move on to ratings?
Yep, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Are you?
Top into ratings and reviews. Let's do critics first. What do you got, Sheehan?
I got 75.
75?
This is a solid C. It was average.
Is that what you... Sorry.
Is that what I wrote down?
Yeah.
You're goddamn right it is.
So the narration didn't lower your rating at all.
No, because I felt that I already had it lower than what I wanted to, just because a lot of things irked me about it. Narrating's a misstep, sure, but I mean well, there was a lot of good things. There's a lot of good things.
All right, so you're staying with the 75?
I'm sticking with it because I love Plummer. I love Williams. Their performances were great. Wahlberg dipped it down to solid 10 points for sure. Ridley Scott did a great job of directing this complete disaster. So all things factored together, I think it was salvaged. So I give it a C. It's still one of our lowest ratings.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Here's mine. 71.
So not too far.
Oh wow.
No,
Yeah.
not that different. I thought yours might get dropped from 75 to 71 would be even, since I pointed out the narration thing. Narration thing's really bad. It's just not like if this won Best Picture, I'd be pretty upset
Shocked.
with the Academy.
There's no chance.
Yeah.
And if anyone asked me like how good was All the Money in the World, do I have to go see it in theaters? I'd be like, nah.
No.
You can wait and watch it on your couch.
Yeah.
For sure. So I'm going to lower mine, but I originally had, you can't see it, but 81.
Okay.
But I'm going to lower it to 77.
All right.
Because that narration thing really does bother me, and I'm not going to be able to get that out of my head now. So thanks,
Yeah,
Jimmy.
81 was high for the narration problem.
So 77, 75, 71 equals 74.
Good enough.
Sounds right. All right, let's hop into our popcorn. I'm going to go first this time, and I'm only going to give it 3 popcorns.
Bam, bam,
all
bam,
right.
bam, bam. 3 stars or popcorns, whatever they are.
Popcorn's too right for the brand, Jimmy.
Drawing
All right.
popcorns would have been hard.
Yeah.
You got to work on that for next week, Jimmy.
Sheehan, what did you do?
Practice your popcorn.
I had 4 because I liked it. I was entertained throughout. I had a little bit of suspense. It was nice. I liked it. Whatever. I don't want to explain myself.
All right. So, but that equals the official review is 3 popcorns.
3. Yeah.
Tied
Sweet.
with Murder on the Orient Express, which definitely
3.5.
deserves.
3.5. Murder.
Because Murder should have been 4.
Popcorns.
Nice.
I know.
Wow.
Look like bunch
That
of
wasn't
crunch
as
to me.
hard as Jimmy made it seem.
No, those are a bunch of crunch.
All right. Well, let's hop into our pairings then. Sheehan, what are you drinking with this if you watch it again?
Sour milk.
Sour milk?
That's just what I felt like when watching this curmudgeon old man be a stingy little bitch that doesn't want to go out and buy some more milk. He'd rather begrudgingly drink the rest of it because you don't want to waste any.
Okay.
I didn't think about it too long, so leave me alone.
Jimmy, what about you?
Some nice Italian wine.
Oh, fuck. That was mine.
Gotcha.
All right. I'll flip it up and
Oh, it
I'll
was
go
really
with a scotch. You know, something nice.
Why scotch?
Because I feel like that's something Getty would drink. A nice, expensive scotch.
No, he wouldn't drink
It would be a single malt and it would be neat.
I don't think Getty would drink alcohol at all. He never wants to not feel in control.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, Dave.
You took my answer, so I had to pull an audible.
What do they drink in Israel,
All right.
Dave?
Beer?
Beer. all the beer.
Beer, brah? Come on, brah. All right, well, that wraps up our review of All the Money in the World. Let's hop into our weekly recommendations. What are we watching? What did we see over the holiday break? Sheehan, what are you recommending for us this week?
I finally finished up Manhunt, Unabomber.
Oh, how is it?
Last time we talked, I revealed that I was an enthusiast of the serial killers. It was a hell of a watch. I know, Jimmy, you said you were hesitant to watch it because it was a very cable TV-ish.
Yeah.
And I agree, it definitely was. But at the same time, I was like, this is kind of refreshing because you got the little breaks. It was segmented. There was no commercials, so that was still keeping it cool. But Netflix and Amazon series, they get very heavy and into it. And this one, you get every like 15 minutes, you get a little like segmented breather. I liked it. It was a little refresher.
All right.
So, but
I watched.
but to be I'm not done yet.
Not done.
Paul Bettany, fan-fucking-tastic as Ted Kaczynski. It's like this was a showcase of acting for him.
Yeah.
Really, really good stuff. So I haven't.
Sorry, go on.
I haven't looked into the TV series for the Globes for Best Actor, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was something in there about him.
Yeah, I'll give it a watch. It just popped up today, actually, on my recommended for you on Netflix. So.
Oh, well, yeah, he's not nominated, so take that back. But he should have been.
Damn. All right, you done?
My also another recommendation. Sorry.
Okay, go on.
Don't buy a fucking house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What now?
Good. Couldn't if I wanted to.
Yeah, no. Don't buy, do not buy a house.
Trouble.
Do not buy a house unless you can afford a move-in ready house with no fixer-upper shit at all, because you will blow your fucking brains out and $1 billion just fixing it.
Okay.
If you can't afford a brand new house, you're too poor to buy a house.
Well, my recommendation is Peaky Blinders because I just finished season 4 and I absolutely love that show. I think it's on my top of all shows that are currently airing list.
Okay.
I still haven't got around to seeing the first season, so
well, you won't like it because you usually use subtitles, and if you watch Peaky Blinders without subtitles on, you do not watch Peaky Blinders.
I've heard that. So I'll enjoy Peaky Blinders when I watch it.
Show.
Just join us.
I'm very excited to watch it, but I'm adamant against using subtitles.
You'll miss half the show. You'll be like, "What? What's happening? What that guy just mumbled?"
I don't
That's
believe
exciting.
it.
No,
I swear on my Nana's life, and she's already dead.
Well, then it's not a good swear, is it?
I swear on her memory.
Ooh.
All right, that's solid. Fine.
She used to wear TV ears, and she still wouldn't know what was going on in Peaky Blinders without subtitles.
TV ears?
What are TV ears?
There's little cones, right?
No, she had headphones that were wireless to the TV.
Oh wow!
Oh.
I want those actually.
Yeah. She could hear. This was back in 2004. It was wild.
Wow, she was ahead of her curve.
Yeah. Well, she was going deaf.
Well, that will happen.
Dave, all right, I got 2 this week. My first one is going to be Bright. It's that Netflix movie with Will Smith. That he and an orc are buddy cops. It's not that great, but it's much better than all the reviews are making it out to be. It's a good.
Isn't that getting trashed by everyone?
Just by critics. The audience score is actually amazing for it. And my recommendation with that is it's a good movie to turn on and play on your iPad or play on your computer. It was a great movie for the holidays when people are sitting around and not really paying attention. So anyone who's still hanging out with family, you can throw that on and it's enjoyable. It's much better than the critics are making out for, but it's not a great movie by any means. And then I'm gonna go with
watch Daddy Daycare too, if you like.
Hey, that's a fantastic movie. But no, my second one is gonna be the latest season of Black Mirror.
Haven't started
almost
yet,
done with it.
So
I have one I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I just have one episode left and it's been great.
Oh.
Although not as bleak as earlier seasons.
Okay. I got to watch that. And I've been so good at staying away from spoilers. So.
Yeah. You don't even see the crossover with the X-Files coming.
Shut up. Oh, well.
Wow.
Liar.
Wow. Blade Runner sucked.
Fuck you.
Yeah, no, 24/9 was good though.
All right, that wraps up this week's episode of Six Pack Cinema. Tune in next week. We will be checking out The Shape of Water. So go find that in your local theater. Bye, all.
See you then.
Stop.
All right.
Broadcast.
Cool.